So, this conversation will lead to the concepts of hierarchy and equality. Let's start with the Hammurabi Code. Hammurabi was the 6th king of the Babylon dynasty, and he ruled in central Mesopotamia, which is now Iraq. This code was made in the late 18th century and consists of almost 300 laws. It is one of the earliest complete legal codes, a model of the laws of retribution, an eye for an eye, and also a model for the idea that you're innocent until proven guilty. What's interesting about this code is that it is not egalitarian, it is hierarchical. People back then were assigned values according to their sex, male or female, and their social position: freeborn man, freedman, and slaves. A few laws I found interesting from the code is law number 1. Anyone ensnare another, putting a ban upon him, but he cannot prove it, then he that ensnared him shall be put to death. Basically, if you accuse somebody of murder and you cannot prove it, then you are put to death. Law 196. If a man put out the eye of another man, freeborn man, his eye shall be put out too. However, an eye for an eye only exists when both men come from the same class. If you put the eye out of a freedman, you only pay 1 gold mina, and if you put out the eye of a man's slave, you only pay 1/2 of the slave's value. Although I'm against putting a value on someone, and I hope a lot of you are too, I don't think we actually got very far from this code. As a society, we strive for equality, but most of our legal systems are hardly balanced when the accuser and the accused come from a different cultural, financial, or even ethnic backgrounds. Just like the Hammurabi Code, the Declaration of Independence of the US is based on religious grounds, but it is egalitarian. Harari demonstrates how the Declaration of Independence of the US would look like if it was written on biological grounds, and I want to know how Americans feel about it. First, the original. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, the biological version. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men evolve differently, that they are born with certain mutable characteristics, that among these are life and the pursuit of pleasure. Referring to this book, this change happens because first, in biology we are not created, we evolve, and as such we evolve with different qualities that gives us different opportunities of survival. Then he mentions that unalienable rights are not biological because our organs, capacities, and characteristics are mutable. Third, there is no such thing as liberty in biology, so he just took it out. And happiness, he changed it to pleasure because at the moment we cannot define happiness. We can only confirm the existence of pleasure because it's easier to define and to measure. Now, according to Harari, each of these would say the other one is wrong. However, both of them are wrong. Harari explains that looking at hierarchy as a myth is easy because it is socially unfair, but the idea of equality is a social construct too, because biological evolution is based on differences, not inequality, and the idea of equality is associated with religion, in which everyone has a soul and is created the same before God. Nevertheless, Harari mentions that we believe in equality not because it is true, but rather because it is necessary for us to work together towards a better society. I mean, why do I feel like he's not wrong, but he's not right either? What I think I understood from it is that cooperation is more effective when I look at somebody else and I see a brother rather than a second-grade cousin. I need to look at you and see somebody as equal as me, so I'm willing to work with you rather than seeing you as a stranger. It feels wrong to think that equality is a social construct. I'm in one of those situations where my beliefs are kind of like pushing me back from seeing the picture. It's a hard pill to swallow because we strive for equality. I honestly don't know what to do with this information, so I'm gonna just put it out there and I'm gonna let you guys think.